Hello and welcome to another episode of the Games of Foot, where I sit and play Sherlock Holmes video games and talk about Sherlock Holmes trivia and literature and also game design stuff. And it's been cool to be back, to be honest. Last week was the first time I got a chance to really play after my laptop died, and it's been nice to kind of get back into the swing of things. Uh, we'll go ahead and just kind of dive right in. No real kind of business to take care of this week. So let's go ahead and transition over to the game. So last time we played, we had just found out that Arsène Lupin had stolen a priceless painting from a museum and replaced them all with really dreadful paintings. And so we had just found the next clue and decided to kind of call it there last time. So, whoops. Uh, Trying to remember all the icons now. So let's see, we had dialogues, ports. So the game actually, unlike some of them, doesn't give you kind of a where you were last supposed to go, which is a little unfortunate. Okay, so, kind of, see if I can get the ladder back up here. As I mentioned last week, this is a game that's kind of in transition between two stages. It's still, it's a 3D game, and it's trying to try some new things in the 3D space. It's also Frogware is the company that makes this is in a position where they want to try to sell these games to a slightly more casual crowd, but it's still kind of steeped in the traditions of old school hardcore adventure games. So this was a game, for those of you who weren't here last week, that the start of the game basically said you need a piece of paper and a pencil to play this game. Thank you, Neil, for making sure to walk on the ladder. Luckily, the game's not allowing me to walk on the ladders, therefore I don't have to worry about plummeting to my death under Reichenbach falls. Okay. I'm gonna switch these keys to kind of get out of here, because I believe the next step is to leave the area, but I want to double check this first.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. We'll be here if you have any further questions. Come, Palinor, back to the inventory.
In retrospect, I probably should have written down what I'm supposed to do next. Well, let's see. One nice thing about this...
I have no reason to go there.
Okay, so one of the relatively nice things about this game, compared to previous games, is that it is relatively sectioned off. Unlike old games where it would let you go anywhere you wanted to and not really give you any advice, I kind of can't leave here until I've done everything I'm supposed to do here. So there's that. Right, okay. So I have to find a particular painting. That I remember now what I have to do. I left some paintings on the walls I didn't have the heart to replace with those from my personal collection. In observing them well and reading the following poem, you will have all the information necessary to determine the location where I spent yesterday afternoon and early evening. Small bit of advice, do not break into the place. The painting great values inside and you will ruin it. Into the museum did I go last night, and there did I see Venus and Mars wrapped in white. So let's start with that. And again, the E and the R button are kind of next to each other, so it's a little challenging. Here goes, there's one.
Here's what I've been looking for. This painting depicts the gods Venus and Mars by Botticelli. This painting was exhibited for the first time in 1874 in the National Gallery.
So let's see, is there anything else I need to examine on this? It looks not. Again, another nice thing about this compared to some of the earlier games I played is that it will let you know, when the glass turns green like that, it's like you've already seen this clue. That's at this time, a really nice improvement. A rainy day they arrive with much delight, that year without doubt, remember with all might. Okay, so that year was...
This painting depicts the gods Venus and Mars by Botticelli.
1874. So someone remember that, 1874. Next. A tired horseman was sleeping near there without fear. His white horse standing tall whispered in my ear, "My lord repeated long ago, that is clear. Truthfully, my second choice, sir, was that year." Yes, poor creepy Watson. As we found out last game, the creepy Watson meme was actually patched out of this version, so I wasn't able to actually replicate it. So alas, one of the few times where a game increased and actually...
Here's what I've been looking for.
So I have the second one, 1874 was the first one.
Look, a white horse standing by a sleeping man by Peter Verbeek, possibly derived from a 1652 print by Paulus Potter.
Okay. I actually am going to start writing these down because I feel like this is going to be a lot to keep in my head. So first one was 1874. This one was...
Look, a white horse standing by a sleeping man by Peter Verbeek.
Got it, Holmes, thanks. Thank you, Von Ether. I keep eating the R buttons. I keep getting those confused for some reason. Hendrik has been dead for ages. I won't be coy. His skaters, young couples, men, women, here a boy. They were his work, or they but duty or his joy. The length of his life is the third part of the ploy. So I'm looking for a skating picture. There it is.
Here's
again,
what I've been looking for.
Another thing in this game is that I'm not clicking on those. As soon as I walk into the space, the game's like, oh, by the way, the painting for is here. So it's not as tedious as it could be.
A winter scene with skaters near a castle by Averkamp, 1585 to 1634, one of the greatest painters from the Dutch school of the 17th century. He specialized in winter scenes. The painting originally extended into a square shape.
So 1634 minus 1585 is 49 years old. Someone could double check my math on that, but I think it's 49. And then finally, my fourth is the year of purchase, I swear. Fish and cabbage, young boy and angel, quite a pair. First minus second, then times third, do you care? Minus the fourth, figured out, and you'll be there. Okay, so let me kind of jot that down. So first minus the second times 49. And then minus whatever the fourth one is, which is the length of his... the year of purchase, I swear. Fish and cabbage, young boy and angel, quite a pair. Okay. You extended in a square shape. Your mom was a square shape. I love that the highly intellectual conversations that we get to in the chat in the stream. I was like going, let me tell you all about this famous literature, and everyone's like, yeah, but your face. So, you know, good times, good times. Boy and an angel, boy and an angel. Nope, not here. May have already walked past it. Did I run this gallery yet? I don't think so. Nope. Ah, there it is.
Here's what I've been looking for. Tobias and the Archangel Raphael by Adam Elsheimer, German painter. The Archangel should ask what kind of bait he used. This canvas was acquired in 1894 by the National Gallery. It was based on a composition he had previously done. It seems that I have found the 4 numbers from Lupin's poem. Now, what do I do with them?
What do you do with them? Okay, so I'm pulling up my calculator here. Let us see if this works. Actually, hold on. Before I do that, let's see if the game automatically does this, because a couple times it's done that. The game's just like, bloop, here you go. Nope, okay, nothing happens. Alright, so... calculator feature on my phone. We have 1874. We're subtracting 1652, and that gives us 222. I am multiplying that by 49, which gives me 10,878. I will subtract 1894 to give me 8,984. Okay, now what? Minus the 4th figured out and you'll be there. 8984. 984. Ah, you know what? I have a thought. Oops. I'm so used to the escape button getting me in the menu. It's that kind of muscle memory. Okay, let's see. Now, if you notice, one thing I'm wondering is this map of London has numbers here, but it only goes up to 72, so that's not going to help me. Let's try here. It's 4739. Nope, that's not going to work out well. Trafalgar Square. No. West. I'm glancing over these to see if there's a number in somehow inside these descriptions. I'm not seeing anything equivalent. This actually kind of reminds me a bit of Consulting Detective in the sense of you actually have to kind of put those pieces together. The game isn't really going to help you figure it out. Okay. Now let's see if the direct line is first.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
Nope.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. We'll be here if you have any further questions.
So
Come, Palinor.
back to inventory. The next thing I'm thinking of is there a safe nearby? Oh, actually, hold on. First of all, let me see if I can leave. Let's try something. Let's try the basic stuff first. Hey, Jordan, no worries. I just figured out...
I have no reason to go there.
There are 4 paintings. Each of them had numbers associated with them. I've done a calculation based on the poem to arrive at the number 8984. Trying to figure out now what that number means.
It's too dark in here. I don't see anything.
Oh, right. I know. I remember now. Last time we played, there was a lamp on the desk that I couldn't take. Let's see if I can take it now. So I'm wondering if it feels like a combination. You're right.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not. This room is poorly lit, and we need it to work. Perhaps a bit later.
Okay. Well then, yeah, let's go back to the room that had a padlock in it. I was just wondering maybe if that other room got unlocked. Nope, we're still stopped there. But I thought it was this room that had the padlock. Am I misremembering? One of these rooms had a padlock in it. Okay, I'm not seeing it here. It's not in there because that room's dark. That room's locked. Where did I see that? Aha! No, it's not over here. That's right. That's right. Yep. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. 8. 4.
Open.
Haha! Okay. Let's see what we got here.
It's the painting by my great uncle. Look, there's a paper attached.
So before I read this, I want to say we talked about this a little bit last stream, but great uncle referred to is actually the painter Varney. It's actually canonically established that Holmes is related to one of the painters with that name. There actually have been several. So the painting by my great uncle is actually a canonical reference. The paper says, "Dear Mr. Holmes, you should have at your feet the parts of my disguise from yesterday. No doubt you would have liked to have removed them from me while I was still wearing them. It's possible. Find me in the museum disguised like this and remove my potishes. Potishes? Beware, do so with care and precision, for I am sensitive. That and the fact that you might destroy the next clue."
A wig and a cushion, for the stomach, no doubt. There is also Velmont's cap and clothing.
So this is definitely the artist.
A half-empty bottle of champagne, to pass the time, no doubt. This is what must have happened. Lupin entered the museum disguised as Velmont. After our meeting, he pretended to leave, but in fact came to hide in the case that Palinor had emptied whilst doing his inventory. A hook permitted him to close the case from the inside, and he calmly waited until the time was right. Once alone, he got out and helped his accomplice enter through the skylight without fearing the police.
Yep. That is what I figured happened. It looks like there's nothing else here to look at. Nope, okay. So now let's talk to the director. I'll let him know.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes? The only one who will be happy.
I'd wager he's doubly happy.
Ah,
A deadline will soon be set,
Okay, that was all from last time.
Thank you, gentlemen.
good.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, whatever. I'm spacing, wait a minute. Find me in the museum disguised like this and remove my potishes. Okay, so we need to find a picture. I'm guessing it looks like Velmont. Which means we have to look at these really, really awful pictures. No, it's not him. I will say one thing with this game. No, no worries. You again. This was definitely made when Frogwares was a smaller studio. So one of the things you can tell is, we talked before last time about, like, wow, look at this museum, it's such a huge level. They're getting a lot of mileage out of this level. So yeah, they made this huge thing, but it wasn't like something you play in for 10 minutes and then leave. That we have basically, this has been the level we've been in for the past 2-ish hours. So there's definitely a lot going on here. And sometimes that can get a little tedious, honestly. If it's done badly, you could just feel like it's a reuse of assets, like nothing really is happening. But in this case, because it's it's a museum, there's paintings around. I think it's helpful that it gives you a reason to look at the cool paintings they put up, and it gives you a reason to kind of explore things. I do agree with Von Aether. It would have been nice if they had more music. But again, small studio, and it's not offensive. I mean, I've certainly had much more annoying looping music. But yeah, the eternal looping violin is certainly not as robust as one would hope. Okay, so
Closed.
oh, you know what? I'm wondering if those footsteps are what we're trying to work on here. No. I'm pretty sure Lupin's going after the crown jewels. I think that's what that's all about there. But find me.
I have no reason to go there.
I bet you don't. Okay. Huh. Just double check here. Nothing in here.
I'm overwhelmed by this inventory.
Yeah, life's hard. Life sucks. Get helmet. Okay. Again, nothing makes me feel like the design has changed. They're probably not going to start making me click on things. Luckily, I already clicked on a lot of these, so it's not going to be a huge deal, even if I do have to go that route.
Self-portrait by Horace Velment.
Haha.
A bit narcissistic, that one.
Yeah, it is funny that there's just this huge pile of paintings. Lupin just like, dump. There you go. Figure it out.
This painting has an oil base, but is covered in a fine coat of water paint. I should ask the director how to remove it.
Okay. Oh, director.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
To your wants.
Sorry to disturb you, gentlemen. Can you explain how to remove a fine layer of water paint that is covering an oil painting? Rest assured, it does not concern a piece from the museum's collection.
It's simple. You'll need some water to soften the paint, a paintbrush with rigid bristles to scrape off the film, and an absorbent sponge to take it all off.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good. We'll be here if you have any further questions.
So, water, stiff brush, and sponge. Bet you can find all those here.
Water.
Water? And there. Okay. Yeah, one thing I think is that, so this game was originally, I think I talked about this last time, this game was originally designed for this mode, but sometimes you have to get really on top of things to get those icons to appear, and they don't move. So like if I walk up to this like this, I can't see there's actually an actual icon until I swivel up. It's a weird balance, but if I switch to this, I can move over it, and it's a much easier thing to establish. So it's weird that the secondary mode they programmed in later is actually a little more responsive than the originally intended mode. But I suspect maybe a case of people express their frustration, so they changed to this fixed camera view in order to maybe resolve that issue. So, okay, let's go back to this.
You and I, Lupin.
You and I. So, water?
I need something. I need something.
Right, like I said, brush. Let's do one of these where we have to paint. This is boy howdy. Frogwares likes to do this puzzle a lot. I don't know why. But this whole let's go through everything and then wipe it all. So basically what I'm doing is I have to click and drag over all of this, and you see the little darker spots are where it's wet, and then you have to rub it off. This whole rubbing a thing off another thing puzzle, again, it just shows up in a lot of their games, and it's just a little tedious to do, honestly. I do think some of the later games they kind of just shortcut it. It's like, you have the things together, click on them, great, you have restored or whatever. But it's kind of a weird. My guess is like something like, oh, this was really hard to program, so we're gonna make sure we use this assets and this software or this bit of code as much as possible. Alright. So. You can say it's painstaking work. Ah! Get out. Well, and to Neil's point, it's like, it's not considered a piece in the museum. It technically, what he said was not a piece in your collection, and this isn't. This is a piece that Lupin put here. So he wasn't technically lying, but also I'm sure the director would not be happy at the fact that we were doing this. But then again, we also said, it's like, hey, I want to, just for reasons, accommodate this painting, and it'll be cool. So, hey, for no reason at all, can you tell me how to do this? So, I mean, the director is probably not too bright on this front. Oh, you have an 11 p.m. meeting, Infinite G? That's gonna be rough. I'm guessing it's a time zone thing. Gotta get up late to talk to somebody else in a different part of the world. Okay, so let's see. Tokyo and Sydney. Wow. Okay, well, that'll do it. Do have a freelancer who work with in Australia, and sometimes challenging to find time to chat with them, so I do sympathize. Well, look at this. It looks like we have our first real glimpse at Monsieur Arsène Lupin. Now, as I said the last time, I'm not as familiar with the Lupin stories as I am with the Sherlock Holmes stories. I've only read a couple of the first. I've read the first two novels, and and they're translated in English, so there's always going to be some deviations. So I can't say if this is like his canonical appearance or not.
I need something.
Partially because the fact that he's disguised is a pretty common point in the stories. So I don't know if they actually explain this as his appearance. I do believe he's blonde though. But yeah, it is kind of cool actually. It is kind of neat to actually get to see the guy and get a good look at him. And also, as much as I complain about this puzzle, the one thing I do like about it is it gives me a chance to really study.
I need something. I need something.
Gives me a chance to really kind of take a look at the guy, pay attention to him, because this is a character that I'm not going to see much in the game, I suspect. But rather we're going to kind of at a remove through letters and clues like this. So even a little bit of like this, it humanizes the character. It allows us to put a literal face to the name.
There is a bright red C written on this calling card in addition to a poem. This letter must be the beginning of a word or phrase. Now to find the others.
The red surrounding the green isn't right, but for a clue you must look inwardly. If nothing is found, despite your great might, my success will make you green with envy. The red surrounding the green isn't right, but for a clue you must look inwardly. So I'm going to guess this is more looking at paintings. Red and green. Red and green. I will say one thing about this. I mentioned before, it kind of carries into Consulting Detective. One thing that's always...
There must be something here. Stay alert now.
One thing that's always tricky about Sherlock Holmes games is you want to find the right balance of letting the player feel clever without necessarily frustrating them, or also without hand-holding them too much. And so far, this actually has been a relatively good balance of that. The number puzzle was a bit fiddly, honestly, but at the end of the day, it did what it needed to do, and once I had a piece of paper, it was pretty straightforward. And this one, it's a lot of looking at paintings, which again, for a game about theft and objects of value, it's definitely one that makes sense to kind of study those in the same way you would study corpses in a murder-oriented investigation. So far, I actually think this is pretty well. I had heard stories about this being a really terrifically hard game, and I had not finished it. But this has actually been pretty good so far. Bonnie Eathers asked me if I told about the Knighthood, the Canadian-French Arsène Lupin cartoon. You have told me about it. You even gave me the YouTube list of the episodes because they're not available otherwise. I have not watched them yet. But it's honestly, I probably should, especially considering I really enjoyed Sherlock Holmes' 22nd Century. I probably will enjoy that too. Look within. Just see if anything here is So I can't click on anything, I can only expand that, so I'm guessing I'm not time to use it yet. No, there's something here. Okay, aha!
A piece of the frame is breaking off.
Great paintings, rectangular or square, hanging in rooms very much like this. And a different one from a northern air. Count 6 sides as the needle turns, you can't miss. A different one from a northern air. Count 6 sides as the needle turns. So count 6 sides. You can't miss. Okay, I'm gonna try the map. So that's where I'm at. So yeah, this is where I'm at now. English rumor says it's a different one from the northern air. Okay, so I came in this way.
What horrors!
No, okay. So another one like this. But there's no other 6-sided rooms. Think of that room. You know what's funny is like the music in this didn't bug me, but now that it's been pointed out to me, it's it's starting to get to me.
Closed.
So the repetitions. Oh wait, you know what? I think I know what this is. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not right for that yet. 2, 3, 4, 6. Just up here. Okay. Let me pop out of this for a second. There we go. Okay. Let me pull up my walkthrough real quick. Yeah, and I did notice that it was an 8-sided room in the figure, but I'm curious what the relevance of that is. Okay, for some reason I can't see my PDF viewer. Well, that's helpful. Alright, fine. I guess we'll do this the hard way. Back up. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're right, it's an 8-sided room. A different one from the northern air. Count 6 sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. It's just 8-sided room. And this is kind of the what we saw. Is it maybe this room? No, it's not northern, is it? Let's try Dutch gallery, Japanese gallery, Flemish gallery, Italian gallery. No admittance to the public. German gallery, Spanish gallery, French gallery, director's office, entrance hall. You know what? Actually, this might be a case where you look at the room this way. So one thing that you have to think about is these games, because it offers two different rooms or different views, it's got to be solvable in both.
The artist of this painting wished to depict the total rejection of aestheticism, and he succeeded.
I'll be honest, I am still here for Snarky Holmes. Okay. So I'm kind of... but one thing I do like about having the multiple views is that it allows me to look at things in a different perspective. I know it seems redundant, but
Dutch Gallery.
it can be really helpful sometimes just look at things from a different point of view. Something that will jump out at you.
Peace and War. Rubens, the Old Master, painting probably executed in 1629 or 30, illustrating the hopes for peace between England and Spain, the painter's mission at the time. Rubens was, in effect, also a diplomat.
Trying something here. Aha. No, that didn't work. Crap. Okay. I was trying to see. I'll have to remember this for future, but because I'm running this on two monitors, so I can have the chat up here so I can see what you guys are doing. And the downside is that my PDF viewer is in the lower level, so I can't actually look at it without closing the program.
Horrors.
Don't want to close the program, so for future I'll have to load the walkthrough up and put it up here so I can see it. But that's fine. Okay, this is not helping me. So I'm wondering if it's at the room, if it's a picture that has something like that. Let me scan the pictures real quick, because I just had another thought as I was thinking that, but let me try these pictures first. I don't think there's anything geometric. Still love the frog picture. It's awful, but it's great, especially considering the name of the company. It's gotta be a company joke. Something else interesting is that these are the same painting, aren't they?
A canvas by Joseph Vernet, my great-great-uncle. A canvas by Joseph Vernet, my great-great-uncle.
It's the same picture. Huh. Oh, they cleaned it all off for me. That's convenient. Or more accurately, they didn't want to try to track the assets of what state you left the painting in and leave it accordingly. Just put swap pictures.
What do you want, Mr. Holmes?
So many things.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good.
Okay, so another thought I had. Our hanging room's very much like this, and a different one from the northern air. Counts 6 sides. So I'm wondering if it's a 6-sided canvas. It's very much like this.
A winter scene with skaters near a castle by Avercamp, 1585 to 16.
That's what we saw before. For some reason it showed up as...
A work by Jan Steen, painter of the Dutch school, a moralist.
So anyways, as for those people new, it says the chats, no spoilers unless I ask for it. So if it isn't clear at this point in time, it's okay. If you know what the next thing is or have a clue for me, I am totally fine with that. Because I admit to being stumped at this point.
Adoration of the Kings by Botticelli, bought by the National Gallery in 1878. Saint Catherine of Alexandria, painted by Carlo Crivelli, bought as part of the Prince Anatole Demidov collection in 1868.
I will say, the voice actor, I can just imagine it's like, hey, I need you to read 50 lines of paintings. That's all we're going to do today. We're just going to talk about paintings in your read-through. Okay, here we go. Just think, you know, people, you're at home, trying to relax, trying to find something enjoyable to do, and you're getting the most frenetic virtual tour of a museum you've ever seen in your life.
Closed.
I found it if I want it, and I've been told I was correct. I said a lot of shit. I don't know which part of it was correct. I'm guessing the six-sided frame. I haven't seen anything like a six-sided frame. So just gonna hit me with it. Because I probably am looking right through it at this point. Suppose if I also not use the shift button to run through everything now. Okay. It's not in a painting. It's not in a painting. Okay. Count 6 from the north air. Clue. The clue is here. It's gonna go to the wall right of the screen painting. Okay, so the wall right. Should be the northern wall. Yep. 6 sides from clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Including the entryways, go to the other recessed wall. Right. Looks like a horror's painting. Ah. That's obscure.
Elementary.
Elementary. In a somber corner under a white cloth to ensure success, look for the red. It will not be inside, but be not wroth. It is not impossible if you use your head. In a somber corner under a white cloth. Okay. I think I know that one. There are a couple different ideas of what that might be. But yeah, that last one. Okay. So, remember I said before, but hey, it doesn't seem that tough. Really, I just need to wait a minute. Oh, that's not the white cloth I thought it was. Is it the white cloth? No? Well, carpet. Right, and this is like I was saying before. Both people in the chat are like the clue and the solution were not intuitive, and it's like it's not. And that's the tricky balance. Like thus far, I have been pretty good, but then sometimes, particularly with progress games, but I think most Sherlock Holmes games struggle with this, is that they want something that's really hard to make you feel like you're on the level of the detective, and you're not Sherlock Holmes. You know, no one can be Sherlock Holmes. The idea is maybe it's, you know, trying to get people to feel like it.
Can I borrow this lamp?
Yes, we are almost finished. Isn't that right, Palinor?
So yes, I'm thinking, I was just thinking as I saw you say that it's probably the dark room, so I'll go ahead and try that. Okay.
This bucket contains something extremely heavy. I can't move it. A bucket with a red perimeter. Not bad. There is something here.
Under a bouquet of lilies fair, the director is sleeping there, younger by a quarter of an hour, and you shall receive the power. Lilies fair, the director is sleeping there. Are there lilies in here? One thing I do want to show you, actually, real quick. This is an interesting cheat. We talked before about how the Creepy Watson thing was an animation cheat. The original version of the game, Watson did not walk behind you. Basically, you would just turn away and turn back, and Watson will materialize there, so they could cut out the walking animation. Here's another one. I don't know if you noticed this. Door swings open. Walk out. Okay. Before it, in the old version, it actually just, you turn around and it was closed again. It didn't actually swing closed. So that's something else they must have fixed. Again, the game is just bound and determined to make me look like a fool. Which, you know, I respect. Bouquet of Lilies fair, director is sleeping there. You're about a quarter of an hour. Lilies fair, Lilies fair, Lilies fair. One thing I'll say is the progression of the clues seem to be slowly moving away from the paintings. I'm still checking them because the game taught me that that was an important thing to do. But also, last two have been not paintings. So I'm probably not in the right space, but I'm going to keep checking them because you never know. There's also a lot of checking the same rooms over and over and over again. I didn't think I saw lilies in here, but... Another interesting design of adventure games in general, but mystery games specifically, is to give players a little more information than they can comfortably hold in their head. So that players feel like, oh, I think I remember seeing something like that. But not enough to actually they can just remember, oh, I know all five things. And I can keep it all in my head. So it's like, because the space is big enough that you can kind of... Was there this in there? Was there lilies in there? Because human brains can only hold so much, and we actually forget things as humans really fast unless we're constantly doing them.
It's Pointer, the museum director, who is on display here. Amusing.
Your granduncle Horace had a grandfather both of the proud name Vernet. The clue will lead you to erase on the tiber, decide which painting it is, and don't sway. So, first of all, I actually did get the rhyme correct if you pronounce Vernet correctly. And second of all, it goes back to my original point, is that there were multiple painters. This game has decided that the younger Vernet is the one. Younger Vernet and older Vernet are both related to Holmes in some way. So we did see, if you remember earlier, I mentioned that there were two. Aha, right here. Yes.
Here's what I've been looking for. Why these two paintings appear identical?
I guess we noticed that. I don't know entirely what I'm looking for here. Why is it? Why is the icon popping? Oh, probably because that's back where it goes. All right, that makes sense. Thank you. I appreciate the good catch. So if you can considering...
Haha, Lupin seems to be setting the example. I'm in need of a lamp.
Inventory. Oops, okay, I got it. Setting the example. I don't even know what that was a reference to. Oh, I have to go back and get the lamp. Okay, getting a little exhausting going back and forth. Considering there's a modest chance we may not have left the museum by the time I end up gaming today. We'll see. Back to here. You know, here. It's the French area, right? Yes. Okay. Inventory. Put the in the inventory. Why am I setting it on fire? What have I done? What is happening? Oh my god. What?
I will recopy all of that to better study it.
What? Wow. And that was so to summarize, I have defaced one painting that was not actually in the collection. I have now defaced a second painting, which hopefully was a forgery. Whew. Okay. Yeah, I'm banished from museums. That's not a thing I have anymore. Poem. 9 paintings with so much in common theme and colors: brown and red, green, yellow, and blue. Put the colors face to face, help them to align, and the last letter found will give you a clue. 9 paintings with as much in common themes and colors: brown, red, green, yellow, and blue. Brown, red, green, yellow, and blue.
What horrors!
Oh my god, all right, 9 paintings. 9 paintings. I'm guessing it's a collection. It's in one space.
What horrors! What horrors!
Ron, this is obviously one of the paintings says time displaced from the future. Dr. Brown told me that 2 can't exist in the same place at the same time. Deistico's paradox. I must resolve it by immediately burning one.
This must be one of the 9 canvases. They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
Okay, so I'm just gonna now I'm gonna start grabbing paintings. Oh, this is amazing. I admit I did not expect to.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
Did not expect that we're going to escalate to destroying a museum, but you know, that's where we're at today.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
If you're going to have me pick up 9 paintings,
they're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
Just saying. But now I'm starting to get what the goal of this is. It's all these kind of blotchy paintings.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
If I know my Sherlock Holmes games, there could be 9 things that are going to be arranged in a square, and I'm going to have to rotate them or rearrange them to turn them into a puzzle that resolves into a thing. I'm guessing that's what's going to happen next.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without. They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without. They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without.
Hey guys, did you know they're hanging art made by 3-year-olds? Just in case that wasn't clear.
They're hanging art made by 3-year-olds. We could probably do without. I have all 9 paintings now, I think.
Right, so now what? Not having so much common themes and colors, brown and gold. Put the colors face to face, help them to align, and the last letter found will give you a clue. Right, okay, so, right, now I know what it is, I know what it is. Remember that you... Red square here?
Think.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so, Okay, so I can't rotate them, which is good. Okay, they only can be in this order. Downside of this puzzle is I have no idea what the edges are. So I'm going to assume for the moment that these are the edges. This puzzle's a piece of shit, just to be clear. Oh, they do rotate. Of course they do. The right click. Just to make this a little bit worse. Okay. Wow, this is not going to be good. But, you know, now that I'm looking at it, I don't know if you guys can see, there's like a little 3 almost here. So I'm wondering if that maybe is a starting point. And also, it's kind of a white edge. Like maybe it wasn't painted to the edges of the canvas. So I'm going to start with that as an assumption. Oh, actually no, I just noticed this. There's a black lit edge here. Okay. Now I'm starting to get somewhere. Right. Yeah, okay, it's supposed to be there. Alright. Now we need to get another piece of yellow to line up to that. Okay. That goes there. I have the dread feeling this is going to be one of those things like, hey, it's done, but it's all upside down, you have to reorient it all. There's that. There's a big S.
No message proposes another riddle. I must have found all of the clues. However, I haven't made any progress. Perhaps the director might know more.
Okay, so just I want to recap. So the Coronis, Coronis. One thing actually that puzzle was pretty good. The position is like when it was solved, the S is kind of in both directions, so it's pretty easy to see the letters. That was good.
So, Mr. Holmes, the day is drawing to a close. Can I finally reclaim my museum?
Tell me, director, does this word mean anything to you?
Coronis? Yes, we have a painting entitled Apollo Slaying Coronis. It's an old painting. Let me show you. Palinor?
Here it is.
This painting is rather simple and doesn't seem to be hiding anything special. Can you tell me the history of this piece?
It was created in approximately 1617 by Domenichino and his assistants. It doesn't belong to us, but is on loan temporarily by its owner. It represents the god Apollo using an arrow to slay his lover, Coronis, because of her infidelity.
That's all?
Yes, that's all. Well, Holmes, where are we? It's dark outside. I can't keep going any longer. Not one witness within a half-mile in any direction. It would seem the men disappeared like ghosts.
What is the note that you're holding?
Oh, yes, a constable asked me to bring it to your attention. It could be from Lestrade, as we were separated over an hour ago.
Lo, Corona's destiny in a painting. It was there, but never did she show. Always around her a black shadow. Not seen this painting. This eve, 6 more missing.
Incredible. Lestrade has also started using poetry.
This note didn't come from Lestrade, Watson. It's Lupin who sent it. Mr. Pointer, what could he mean by a black shadow and not in the painting?
Yes. In the legend, it's Apollo's bird, a raven, who reveals Coronis's infidelity to him. Thus, the raven, who is at the heart of the matter, is curiously absent from the painting.
Anyway, our latest message from Lupin states, tonight, 6 more missing. Do you have the map of London with you, Watson? Get it for me if you would.
Okay, so. First off, Van Ether in the chat mentions that appreciating this design with these kinds of puzzles, it can be really obvious. You kind of see what it's supposed to be yourself to put the puzzles together, and this taste you didn't really know until you saw at the end. And in that respect, I completely agree. While it was frustrating putting it together initially, there were enough subtle clues I was able to kind of figure out the edge and slowly build it up. So it seemed like a lot, but when it got in, it actually really helped. That was, it actually was a really good piece of puzzle design. And honestly, except for the one about the clock face, which is really obtuse, that was actually a pretty good set of puzzles, all things considered. So in general, a solid B plus, A minus on that section. Me throwing my hands up in the air because Watson, I have always been a Watson apologist. I literally wrote a book called Watson's Not an Idiot, which Van Ether mentions in the chat. But you could have read the note that was handed to you. Oh, it came from Lestrade. Oh, Lestrade's giving poetry. We're following a guy whose MO is leaving poems, clues of things he's stolen. I mean, could you maybe have figured out that the poem about art might be related to the guy we're chasing? Anyhow, so now Watson needs to find a map of London.
I have no interest in going there.
Then why am I controlling Watson?
Yes, Watson, the Tower of London Ravens. If ever the Ravens leave the Tower of London, the British Empire will fall. Lupin wants to capture them. Watson, there isn't a moment to lose. Find a hansom while I leave some instructions for the director.
Good thing I knew about the Ravens and Tower of London, because otherwise I do not know if I would have figured that clue out.
You were quiet during the whole trip in the hansom, Holmes. I'm curious to know what you might have said to the director.
Simply to reveal nothing to the public and claim that the appearance of a strange mildew on certain paintings has forced the museum to close. This quarantine will permit us to avoid the press from aggravating this already embarrassing situation.
But if Lupin pursues his scandalous idea and actions, we won't be able to silence all of the talk that will ensue all over the city.
Exactly, Watson. All we're doing is giving ourselves a bit of time. From here on out, we must win this strange game, Watson. Lupin won the first round and has thrown me headfirst into this business because if he succeeds, my name will eternally be associated with this adventure and synonymous with failure.
But you'll get the upper hand, won't you, Holmes?
We'll see, Watson, that we will.
Who goes there?
My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend Dr. Watson. We are here at this late hour to meet with the Chief Warder. A recent event has led us to believe that some harm may befall the security of the buildings and goods under his responsibility.
Stay here and wait a moment. Above all, do not deface the walls.
Really? That's the most important thing you have to worry about? So, okay. You're in this extremely secure area. I'm gonna go talk to the sheriff. But what I need you to do, above all else, so you can break in, you can do whatever you want to, burn paintings for all I care, but for love of God, do not face the walls in this place. I am confused.
What do you think, Holmes?
Thanks, Watson. Thanks so much. Okay, now I understand why maybe bed facing walls might be a concern. Is that aliens? Aliens! No, Allens. So this is really hard to read. Not sure what I'm trying to get at. This. Also, this is a bit of irritating design. The point is that because the icon resides here, it needs to have to pop back in, but it's also over top of some of the images to look at. So it's not a great bit of UI design there, to be honest.
Good evening, gentlemen. I am Smith, the Chief Warder. Pardon me, but did you tell the guard that you are Sherlock Holmes?
Indeed, I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr. Watson.
Incredible, Mr. Holmes. What a strange coincidence that.
It is not a matter of coincidence in this case. I am here because something that you hold within these walls has disappeared. I was hoping to arrive in time to prevent this from happening, but I fear we are too late.
Are there 6?
Watson, I am certain that the Chief Warder will answer all of our questions as he brings us to the scene of the crime.
I will indeed. If you would come this way. Thank you for your discretion, Mr. Holmes. If word got out, the consequences would be disastrous. On that note, I would like to know who warned you. Apart from the Raven Master, I thought no one else knew.
Based on what you've told me, you should have assumed that someone else was fully informed of the situation. The same person who warned me. The very person who stole the ravens.
I beg your pardon?
It's much too long a story to relate, and time is not on our side. The basic facts of the matter are as follows. The man who stole the ravens has contemplated more than just your embarrassment. Your ravens will most certainly not be recaptured, not tonight nor tomorrow. We must act accordingly. We'll claim that the birds are under quarantine for health reasons. You and the Raven Master must also confine yourselves and not talk to anyone, but continue your business as if nothing happened. Now, tell me what happened.
What happened? So Yodan mentions in chat, I actually stole the crown jewels from here in a LARP once. It was a weird introduction, but did lead to years of wonderful role-playing. Yet, you don't just drop that into the chat and let that sit. I mean, you actually stole the crown jewels? Are you Saint Lupin? I mean, if so, then this is gonna be a very short mystery. You have to tell us that. I mean, you do speak French, so who knows?
It's very simple. An hour ago at most, at nightfall, the Raven Master found me at my desk. He was quite agitated. The ravens had disappeared. As he was attempting to catch the last of the ravens to return it to the cage for the night, the black silhouette which he was chasing flew off. The ravens normally have their wings clipped. This bird then began to sing a little jingle, then flew swiftly away towards one of the buildings. The Raven Master then did a tour of the fortress and noticed that the ravens had disappeared and were replaced. Incredible!
And where is the Raven Master?
He is confined to his bed at present, and I am quite concerned due to his age. Mr. Holmes, we can't keep this matter secret forever. The ravens must be returned as soon as possible.
Indeed, there is a chance, as the thief certainly left some clues behind, quite possibly voluntarily. Without sounding vain, I do believe I am the only one who is capable of taking advantage of them.
You sound vain. You just sound vain. Just be clear, Holmes. You sound vain.
Where are the ravens normally during the day?
In the field facing the entrance to the White Tower. You can get there through this door. I was just there and noticed this black envelope on the ground. I haven't opened it yet.
Give it to me.
6 have flown, now 6 are back. Look at each one again and again. Where will be Lupin's next attack? The 6 reunited shall form a quatrain.
Do you have a lantern you could lend us?
Yes, I can give you mine. Here. I can also give you a map of the site. I'm sure you will find it handy. Indeed. I'm already starting to feel disoriented here.
Watson.
I will inform the service personnel that your presence here is authorized and that they are to assist you in any way possible. I will try to join you later. However, I must also prepare for the ceremony of the keys.
Watson, the game is afoot again.
What are we to do, Holmes?
Chase 6 birds, Watson.
Chase? There must be a shotgun or two here, Holmes. Why can't we mix business with pleasure for once?
One missed shot, and the bird flies off and never returns, taking England's dignity with it. Can you handle that kind of pressure, Watson?
Well...
Exactly, Watson. Now, let's listen to their calls and find whence they originate.
Oh, I really hope this isn't a sound puzzle, because that's going to screw me so bad. Anyhow. Yudan says, I don't remember it super well. It was an introductory mission to a LARP that was set just a bit prior to World War II. We went around the world in a Zeppelin ship going through all kinds of occult shenanigans. In the case of the Jewel, one of them was cursed. We still wouldn't try to remove the curse. Okay. So you were benevolently stealing the crown jewels for, you know, their own benefit. He did not, to be clear, he did not in real life steal the jewels. Well, that's a relief. Okay, so the map. That's, I guess that's where we came in. So give me a lamp. It's not here. Before the lamp was an item I could use. No, it is not. That's not helpful. I really hope this is a sound puzzle.
This collection of weapons is impressive. This collection of weapons is impressive.
It's the weapons room. Of course the collection of weapons is impressive. It's the weapons room.
A box of munitions, empty.
Okay, it's not quite as impressive, but, you know, it's the weapons room.
Magnificent articulated armor. All of the pieces are detachable, even the greaves.
That sounds impressive.
Magnificent articulated armor. All of the
The storyteller in charge of that part of the story left. Ergo, we kept the jewels, but never in fact managed to do anything else with it in 5 years. Wow. That's a bit of a cliffhanger, isn't it?
This part is dedicated to medieval hunting. This part is dedicated to medieval hunting. These are bird calls used in hunting. There is quite a variety. This part is dedicated to medieval... This space is dedicated to the Navy. This may prove to be useful.
Sure. Standard adventure game logic. Pick up anything not
This
nailed
net
down.
has a large mesh. We'll find out later if it'll prove to be useful.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna prove to be useful.
Closed.
What do you think, Holmes?
Why do you even have the app clicked on, Watson, if you have nothing of use to me? I do not like this at all, Watson. I really don't. Watson gets better in some of their progress games, and actually he's pretty strong in The Awakening. But boy howdy, he's dumb as a box of bricks in this one.
I hear a bird, Holmes.
You are right, Watson. Come, we'll have to climb to the wall walk.
What now? So at least it showed me where to go, but... It's gotta be a climbable space. And yeah, that is not. Infinite G mentions that the crown jewels have super high security in real life and actually keep you kind of moving through it. And that's legit true. I've actually seen them as well myself. And there's a kind of a moving walkway that you have to kind of just scroll by them. Um, so I stood here. Okay, it's gonna play it again at least, thankfully.
I hear a bird, Holmes.
God, that was
You
the
are
worst
right,
fucking
Watson.
bird call
Come,
ever.
we'll have to climb to the wall walk.
Okay, it's over there? Those things like the picture it showed there's a oh, it's up there. Okay, I see. I see. It is next to that tree part, so I have to get on top of this wall somehow. Yeah, we don't have budget for Raven calls. We can't afford a bird call, so I'm just gonna have some guy yell into a mic. That'll be fine, right? Well, that did not work out the way I had hoped. Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to another plan. Actually, let's go back here first. So there's a back way up there before I try something else. That is not a door. It's gonna play again.
I hear a bird, Holmes.
You are right, Watson. Come, we'll have to climb to the wall walk.
I didn't mean to do that, but oh man, that is just so fucking bad. Alright, so this is where it stops us. Oh, that's clickable. Oh, that would have been nice earlier. Okay. So,
Closed.
So before I said I hope that this is a sound puzzle. This isn't what I actually meant. This is fine. But with my hearing loss, I don't have directional hearing, or so like even if I have headphones in and it's playing in one area or the other, my brain never learned how to process directional hearing. So there are some games that really rely on knowing if something is behind you or to a certain place, and I just can't process that stuff. So I was worried to be one of those, but luckily the games can show me a camera angle that has some redundant cues, and that's actually a good game design, is when you can have redundancy of information, so that way it's the person misses at one level, they're picking up at another level. So I appreciate that.
I believe a bird on the roof was speaking, but I don't understand what it said. I must find a way to approach it.
Oh my god, it sounds like it's dying.
I believe a bird on the roof was speaking, but I don't understand what it said. I must find a way to approach it.
I don't fucking know, dude.
I believe a bird on the roof was speaking, but I don't understand what it said. I must find a way to approach it.
So I'm worried that I have to get 6 different items to approach 6 different birds. 7 brides for 7 brothers. So, if Adventure Game Logic has told me anything, is that the thing I need to do to resolve this is nearby. Please do not play that anymore. Oh my god, no. Just stop.
I believe a bird on the roof.
Oh my god, just stop. It is not talking. You're... Oh, okay. There. There's nothing else here that's clickable that I'm missing. Nope. Alright. So, as I was saying, Adventure Game Logic tells me that it's going to be around here somewhere. I admit I do not get the Punky Brewster reference. I think that might be after my time? Before my time? After my time. Actually, no, stop. No, God, no, please. Oh, God, no.
I hear a bird, Holmes.
Yes, I know you
You
hear
are
a
right,
fucking
Watson.
bird, Watson.
Come.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm glad that they make absolutely sure you don't miss it, but... Oh my god.
Do you hear it, Holmes?
I hear a strange screech behind this door, but the sound is weak. This door is securely closed. Perhaps Smith could open it. Watson, could you fetch him?
Understood, Holmes.
Oh yeah, so 85, 86, that would have been around my time, but...
There,
maybe I
look,
just missed it.
it's here. We can hear a strange noise from behind this door, but it's locked. Ah, this door.
This door. This door right here. Could you please open the
Can you
door?
open it?
Certainly. To be honest, I was scared you'd bring me here. It's one of the oldest rooms in the fortress. Possibly dates back to before the official construction, because, as you know, Roman ruins were originally on this spot. It's a sinister spot in which we made some gruesome discoveries. We would have preferred to condemn it. The men were scared half to death. Gruesome discoveries?
That does not look very gruesome, I'm not gonna lie.
These heraldic shields are almost completely obliterated. These heraldic shields are almost completely obliterated. It appears to be Latin, Watson. The inscription is almost completely worn off. Hanging above is a shield that we can't identify. These heraldic shields are almost The nooks under the shields are riddled with holes and grooves, which seem to have been created on purpose. The screeches are coming from this crack and seem to echo. Without a doubt, there is a room behind this wall, but there is no visible entrance.
The corner of this stone was a bit broken, and we tried to enlarge it with a pick. However, the stone is too hard, and having seen what was underground, we didn't want to pursue the endeavour. Who knows what is hidden behind the wall?
Watson, the symbols on the heraldic shields and this Latin inscription may permit us to get through to the other side of the wall. I must try to find something to bring out the contrasts.
Understood, Holmes.
So to summarize, a bunch of guards went to the ancient Roman ruins of this historically important area and said, let's fucking whack it with a pick. Infinite G points out that even though Glomer from Punky Brewster cartoon sounded basically like Gizmo from Gremlins, is voiced by Frank Welker, who Eddie should know. Yes, I do know Frank Welker. Frank Welker voiced Megatron in the Transformers cartoon. I am very, very familiar with Frank
The
Welker.
nooks under the shields are riddled with...
Also, Frank Welker did Scooby-Doo. He's an amazing voice actor.
These bones are centuries old.
They really shouldn't be there if they're centuries old. The archaeologists around here are fucking terrible.
These bones are centuries old.
You know, I've burned a painting, I've defaced another one, so let's just destroy some valuable archaeological evidence. Why the hell not?
These bones are centuries old.
Execs identified that the live-action Punky Brewster was boring, so its Punky Brewster cartoon spin-off had a magical creature named Glormer who got kids into various shenanigans, sort of like a good-natured Mr. Mexoplex. Well, okay then. That's the thing I now know.
Have you found something, Mr. Holmes? It's rather cold in this crypt, Holmes.
Find something to bring out the contrast. Destroy valuable artifacts. It's like late 19th century England to me. That's a fair point. I really can't argue with that. Okay, third person protection. So why is there a camera here? So I need something to bring out the contrast. Which means I need a rubbing.
It appears to be Latin, Watson. The symbols on the heraldic shield.
Understood, Holmes.
So I need to basically do a rubbing to find out what the shield is, to probably put a torch in one of these so it opens the door. That would seem consistent. Worst part is I can kind of see the shield. But, you know, it is what it is. I feel like this is going to be one of those I have to search around, find a bunch of random stuff. I was wrong. That I thought that the thing I would need to go upstairs would be nearby. No, it's a different puzzle. I am not listening to that again. It was funny the first 12 times. It is no longer funny. Map. Okay, so that's Wakefield Tower. That's the ramparts. So I've explored those. Just looked at that. Hang on a second. So yeah, I need to do it that way. Okay. I haven't gone here yet. I'm just gonna have to screw everything up.
The famous White Tower.
Also, I do like the fact that it gives a little tinkle sounds if it's a light on the corner that says, hey, you found a new location on your map now. So, that is a little nice visual cue. Just check around the White Tower. Also, the nice thing is that because he keeps putting those icons up, I can start jumping between them. Which is nice. Okay. I will say, I have actually been to Tower 1, I think I mentioned that before. And this is pretty accurate. I haven't been to the part we've been before, but I've been to this area. This is an area where basically the tours take you up this road here, and they talk about how all these areas are actually the different places where the royal family and some other people who maintain the tower live in this kind of little block. And then this is the chapel where actually services are held for the royal family or whoever else is staying here. So this is actually pretty spot on. So kudos to them for that. This is pretty authentic because as soon as I got to this part, I was like, oh, I know this place. So that's actually really cool. I do appreciate that. Yeah, this is the way. Actually, I'm sorry. This is the way you walk up. Normally, this area is blocked off. This door is closed. But yeah, basically you walk up this way. This is where they kind of lead you in. There's this area down here where some people kind of escaped. Some people actually managed to float out through that gate. This I don't think is accurate because there's supposed to be or maybe it's a different tunnel, but there's one of these where you actually they had grates in the ceiling, like right here, where you can actually take a drop like oil through. So So yeah, this is an area I am weirdly a little familiar with. And it's going to be a huge exploration. Bluebird of Paradise. These fowl from Oceania use unique technique in order to attract the female during the amorous season. The amorous season. They construct little grass and twig cabins. They decorate with flowers and rocks, working until their adornments are of a blazing, dazzling blue color. Some explorers have witnessed the extraordinary risk-taking of these little carpenters in their quest for blue objects, some of them even penetrating camps and skimming humans' feet. The origin of this blue obsession can be explained perhaps by the fact that blue is the only color this bird's eye can distinguish. Rock partridge, a cousin of the red-legged partridge from Corsica, this remarkable bird has become in only a few decades one of the rarest in Europe. Naturalists confirm that only a dozen specimens remain, of which most are in captivity. The fall of his numbers in these is due to the intense hunting in their habitat, but the Sardinian forests and become their slow rates of reproduction. The few facts that we know about the behavior of this bird are based on observations made in aviaries. Literature and specialists all agree that the bird's great plasticity, as it rarely gets alarmed and almost never leaves its preferred perches. Reproduction is based on an exchange of cries between the female and the male, the female usually initiating the interactions. Her unique cry seems to have a hypnotic effect on the male, which may often wait for years before being solicited, and easily reproducing the sound with the call has been made for the grave, inexorable fate of the species.
This may prove to be useful.
I have no idea how it's going to be useful, but alright, Holmes. So yeah, as I feared, this is a little more classic adventure gamey.
Interesting. A camera with a magnesium flash.
Modern games, like I said before, would have had the solution relatively close to the area that needed to be solved. This is a little more classic. Search
a
everything.
Dirty sock. Rather unsavory.
That sock looks a little stiff, if you ask me. Anyway, moving on. So I suspect it's going to be a lot of
Closed.
This. Just exploring every nook and cranny, grabbing a bunch of stuff, figuring out where all the bloody bird calls are. I'm sure hear that bird call again at some point. And then trying to solve it with the stuff we have on hand. But you know, this is what we signed up for. This is what we do. When you play classic adventure games, these are the things you have to do.
Closed.
Ah, I was looking all over for you. Have you found anything that will put you on the trail of the missing ravens?
We are making progress. Tell me, what is behind this door?
It's the storeroom.
Do you have the key for this door?
I can open it, but you won't get far. A grill is blocking the entrance, and Pitt, our cook, thought it would be a good idea to put on a combination lock.
Can you find the cook?
It's just that tonight is his night off. He could be in one of countless pubs in London, and he won't be back until tomorrow, just in time to prepare our tea.
That's unfortunate. Do you have the code for the lock?
No. Having nothing to do in this area, I do not know the code.
Obviously, no chance.
Wait, I seem to remember that the code to open the lock has something to do with one of his ancestors. Listen, I can give you the key to his apartment. It's just to the right of the storeroom. If you find something, it will save time. I'll explain it when he gets back.
I thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Smith. I will return everything to its proper place.
Yeah, so Yudam remembered that the bird calls there were in the weapons room, actually. So yeah, that might be relevant, but I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with just trying to get as much stuff as possible and combining where it's immediate. I just don't know what the bird call's used for, so once I figure that out.
This may prove to be useful. Jars of tomatoes from Italy.
That was a weird segue.
A few drops of red wax. They are from the jars of tomatoes. Jars of tomatoes from Italy.
Tomatoes.
This may prove to be useful.
A rope. That might be useful, yeah. Storm's actually proving to be extremely useful.
Nice faience plate.
Faience. I'm actually not familiar with faience plate.
All of these products are stamped with the royal coat of arms.
What was that? Saw. This key looks flat. I saw something. Oh, there we go. The tower will storm and as to all the canned goods, bags of flour, vegetable baskets, and even the pieces of dried meat and fish were stamped with the royal coat of arms. The preserves were rimmed with red wax, in which a few drops fell from the shelf where jars of Italian tomatoes were stored. Okay, that's gonna be useful sometimes.
All of these products are stamped with the royal coat of arms.
Yes, yes, I know. And no worries, I appreciate you guys putting ideas out there. When I'm stumped, it's like okay, what do I do next? But this is a case of I have a lot of things I can do. So
all of these products are stamped with the royal coat of arms.
Yes, I get.
All of these products are stamped with the royal coat of arms.
Yes, I know. I got it. There's a key.
Closed. This door is locked, and unlike Lupin, I am not a master lockpick.
That is a complete lie, and you are a liar that lies. Holmes absolutely knows how to pick a lock. In fact, he does exactly that in many, many games. Oh, such a liar. Canon, he's also has a lockpick set.
Closed.
Ah, so wrong. But it was a hell of a combo lock. You're absolutely right. Thursday ham omelet, radish and pudding. Friday bacon and tomato pie, a new recipe that I hope they will like, and rum cake. Saturday baked potatoes, braised duck, and blueberry pie. My dearest darling, it's been a long time since I've written the news, but I'm very tired for the last while, and I haven't had the energy to get up even just to jot a note. And you know how Mary writes. I didn't dare ask her to take my dictation, as it would take me 3 days to correct her errors, and I'd end up spending my pension on blotting paper. She is just the same a sweet girl, not a thief like the one before. I'm happy to hear how work is going for you. The whole family's bursting with pride that one of our families in the service of the Queen, our poor widow of Windsor. I was speaking just the other day with Mrs. Nesbit, whose son didn't rise above raising pigs. The old lady thinks of nothing but him and his trade, and is always trying to convince me to buy some ham, lard, and what have you, whatever she sits. I said to her, you listen, Mrs. Nesbit, if you're just here to nauseate me with those greasy references to your son's sad toiling, you may as well stay home. She reeks of manure almost as much as the pigs themselves. But no, she's proud to raise pigs, even though her grandfather was a duke himself, master of the hunt. Talk about a social climber. Ha! Not like you, my dear, when I think of you as cook in the Tower of London, with regal chambers to be sure, when years ago our family had their feet in chains. There we were, stood up all night and all day waiting for the postern. You told me that if you'd found the trace of your ancestor's arrival as well as the precise date that he was standing there so many years ago. It's good of you to honor his memory and forgive him for, no matter what his faults were, it's thanks to him that we have gotten through the trials of time. Take care of yourself, your loving Gran, Nudra.
This letter is very interesting. It's a shame the envelope is missing.
Yodia mentions that might be easier to find a typewriter to open that door, which is a reference to a particularly obtuse puzzle in the Soria Scalpel, where literally the way to get into an office was to chuck an old typewriter through the window. I still love that puzzle so much. It was ridiculous. Miss McAdams, her 2 children, Mr. McAdams, Mrs. Pitt, her 4 grandchildren.
McAdams family. I've seen that name somewhere.
Have you? I haven't. But I trust you. I haven't seen anything else. The wall. Yes, you're right. Good memory. Oh, that was good. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna do this the faster way. Mac Adams 218 1652. That's too many numbers, isn't it? Two one eight 1652. Write that down. One two one eight 1652. Oh, thanks. That putting in chat helps too. Excellent. Map. Let's go back to storeroom. Okay, it was just a very black door. I hadn't noticed it before.
Closed. This door is locked, and
Oh yeah,
unlike
that's 7
Lupin,
digits.
I am
All
not
right.
a master lockpick.
I thought it was only 6. Sweet. 2 1 8 1 6 5 2 2 1 8 1652. I bet that 5 might be off. No, 82. 82. Okay. The last digit was kind of hard. 3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, that's what it was.
This chicken was painted black. It seems to have some paper in its entrails.
Eee.
The message written on this paper is illegible.
Oh, I'm super glad we made it in here. That was definitely worth all of that. Right, okay, so let's see what we got so far. We have canvas bag, we have string, we have a legible piece of paper, and we have a telescope. Where I would like to get out. Okay, I'm guessing I have to do something else here. Done that, looked at that. Looked at that. Oh yeah, Yoda mentions that the only reason why I recognize it is because Rachel McAdams played in the Sherlock Holmes film. That is a weird connection, but you know, I definitely, that was a great one. Because I would not have thought of that. It probably would take me a while to think of that one. Even though the game very dutifully made sure I saw that little. That was weird. That was very weird. But yeah, the game made sure I saw that piece beforehand. So like it seeded the clue. It did its job. Just didn't. Again, we talked about earlier about how you want to give the players a little too much information. That's the ideal sweet spot, and so they kind of go, "Wait a minute, was there something?" And that was exactly.
A strange call, like a series of cracks alternating with smooth notes. The cries seem to be coming from the shrubs.
It's the bird call, I bet you.
A strange call, like a series of cracks alternating with smooth notes. The cries seem to be coming from the shrubs.
Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the weapon. And go here.
If I want to attract a bird with this call, I must know which bird to call. It could be that none of the calls will correspond.
The rock partridge. Wood partridge, duck, males of wood partridge. So there's a female wood partridge. Okay, hold on. So it's a red-legged partridge from Corsica. Sardinia. I think that's the right one. Well, let's give it a shot. There we go. That's map.
A strange call, like a... A strange call, like a series of cracks alternating with smooth notes. The cries seem to be coming from the shrubs.
Right, so I like to use the call.
Impossible to scour. These shrubs are impenetrable. I'd like to know which bird it is. I have to attract it.
Evening, governors. You the investigator Chief told us about? He told me to go round and spot you, but see, I was out of shag, and with it being a shilling a pack and all, there was no reason to inform Scotland Yard.
What happened to your pack of tobacco?
Heading back to the barracks, it fell down, didn't it? I shone me lantern down on it, and this black thing swooped out the shrubs and nicked it. Since then, it won't stop its chattering.
Fancy that.
It's high.
What did the pack look like?
Oh, 'twas a bright blue pack, an anchor on the front too. I won't be giving you a reward for its return though, eh? Just so's we're clear.
I don't expect to find it, my friend. Good night.
That's that then. Good night.
Okay, so wrong bird on that one. It was the other one. It's the bluebird of the Paradisia rudolpha. So let's map back to the weapon room. Pop back over here. Let's see. I think it's the. Hold on. That's not an option. From Oceania. No. Well, that's interesting. Just to look. Wait, so dormants are blazing color, but it's extraordinary. Objects appearing in camps, subject blue section can be explained. Paradise. Alright, well. Let's try something.
A strange call, like a series... Impossible to scour. These shrubs are impenetrable. I'd like to know which bird it is. I have to attract it. Impossible to scour. These shrubs are impenetrable. I'd like to know which bird it is. I have to attract it.
Alright, I'm gonna just finish exploring and then we will crack that nut another time. Because it's getting close to time here, so let me just look around a bit more. These all look built on. No, it's locked off. You get to the chapel, which is probably for the best. That's blocked off. a whole lot of nothing on these items. I feel like I have gotten close to or have everything, which is a little concerning. I don't feel like I actually have everything. One of the downsides of using real locations, and we're going to end on this note, is a level design. In an ideal level, you want players to feel like it's an interesting space to explore, and that most of the spaces don't have to be efficient necessarily, but that there's what you're doing makes sense, and what you're doing is logically progressing the game. So like, if you play a lot of shooters or first-person games like this, you'll see that a lot of levels, if they're fictional places, are designed specifically to kind of lead you through more or less one way. Occasionally you'll have like explicit mazes for puzzly things, but in general there's really only one way into a space and one way out of the space. And it's not a lot of ways to get lost. So you use lots of like light and shadow to indicate to you where you need to go in places. So places that are well lit will draw you into a location, into a place. Places like this that are not well lit are telling the player this is not necessarily a place you want to be unless there's a light puzzle of some kind. But like, yeah, this place is where it's like, in level design, this would be a place that I should probably go to because it's lit. But it's lit because that's a lamp that exists in the real world. So real world places have the unfortunate side effect of not being good for level design at times. So this is a really, as far as I can tell, authentic and accurate recreation of this place. But that doesn't mean there's a lot of dead space here. Hey, Divinity 57. Just about to wrap up, but doing good. We are exploring the Tower of London right now. Now we're just talking about how it's terrible level design. But one thing you'll notice is a couple things dingled off. So I think we've got pretty much the map checked out at this point. So I do think we're going to go ahead and call it there. Save. It's saved there. Can I rename these by any chance? No. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a note for myself that we're exploring Tower of London. And we'll call that there. So we got pretty far so far. We got out of the museum, and it's a good puzzle exploration. This is definitely a game that's going to be really good for exploring how different puzzles work in these kinds of games. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to more of that. And thus far, the puzzles have been genuinely pretty fair. I'm not great at these games, so with you guys' help, I feel like we've, except for the one puzzle, it's been actually batting pretty well. It's been reasonably fair, so that's good to see, actually, especially for a game that's kind of, like I said, for on the cusp of transition between two styles. Next week we will continue on with the Tower of London, and we'll see how things go. But otherwise, I will check you guys next week. So talk to you later.